Hey, what's up everybody? I'm doing another one of my videos for today, the Hulkfit squat gym rack thing from Amazon. The reason I'm doing this one today is one, I have it, and two, this is probably the most popular one on Amazon, one of the highest as far as the number of reviews. I thought obviously if a bunch of people are interested in buying this, perhaps a quick review now that I've had this for quite some time would be helpful. Do me a favor, if you find this to be helpful, please hit like on it, maybe even the subscribe button. I'm also going to put a link in the description down below to the Amazon listing for this, so if you are interested, you can go and purchase it yourself. So, the Hulkfit, the reason we got this was a couple of fold. One is we needed a weight rack to add in some extra exercises to our home gym area. Obviously with a weight rack, you can put a bench down here and do bench press. This one comes with some stuff, you can do some dips, there's a pull-up thing. It basically gave us an opportunity to do a bunch more things than we were actually able to do at the time. The reason we went with this one is, frankly, it's pretty inexpensive. It's one of the lower priced ones on Amazon, and that combined with the higher number of reviews and the higher rating, that's why we went with the Hulkfit. So a couple of things first. As soon as I got it, it took a couple of hours to put this together. I did it by myself. 2 people might have made it faster, but it wasn't enough of a job for really 2 people. And frankly, in a small area like this, 2 people might have actually made it more difficult. So one person can do this. It is a little bit awkward because of the larger pieces when you're propping them up and standing them up. There was quite a few times where I was balancing both sides kind of together while I was placing some of the poles and stuff and assembling it all. So it is possible with one person. 2 might be better depending on your size and skill set. So that was the first thing. It took me, like I said, about 2 hours to put the whole thing together. It was relatively easy, but now that it's up, now that it's together, here are some things that I would say that I really like about the Hulkfit. One is it is quite steady whenever you're talking about front to back. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to kind of do a little bit of this. It's maybe harder to see from the front. Let's move this to the side so you can see. Front to back, I don't know why anybody would ever do this. There's not a lot of shaking here. Where the shaking really kind of comes in here is more side to side. You can see that. So there are times that I have been doing, say, like dips, and I've been going down, going up, and then it'll start to swing either side to side or front to back a little bit. Especially when these were up a little bit higher for my height. Like this, I felt like it became a little bit more swingy. Let's see if that happens here. Well, it's doing pretty good right now. A little bit of swing here, but that was the first thing that I noticed was it was a little bit side to side, not enough to where I felt like it was gonna fall apart, but definitely enough to notice. The other thing was, part of the reason we bought this one was because of the pull-up grips, and the problem was, one of the first times that I actually did this, the pull-ups, the actual filters or handles actually come off. These are just little plastic pieces, so whenever I'm actually doing pull-ups, I'll just take these off so that I don't slide off whenever I'm actually doing the exercises. But it's just a cheap, you could probably throw them away, but I like to hold on to them just for the aesthetics. Aside from that, a couple of things of interest here. Obviously, there's a couple of pieces that are attached to this. It comes with this here. These are these J-hooks, which just apply like this on both sides, which is great for if you got a bar here, setting your bar up there, doing your presses or whatever you want to do. It comes with these dips. Now, one of the things that we thought was interesting was it seemed like on the Amazon listing there was some confusion as to what actually came with this unit. The wording was a little bit weird, but this is what it was. It was the J-hooks, the 2 dips came with it, and then what we've got here is a couple, your squatting safety bar with some hooks on the front. Again, nice for doing some lower type stuff with weights, and of course the inside, the safety bar so that you don't blow something out if you go down too far. And all that is definitely sturdy. One of the things I do want to mention here is whenever I do some of the pull-ups up top, one of the things I like to do is mess around and do stuff that something probably was not originally created for. So one of the first thing I did was, I wanted to get up here and do some silly stuff with kind of whatever this, And by doing that, it actually tipped forward this way just a little bit. You're not supposed to probably hang from it, but it was sort of proof here as to maybe the stability of the unit. Now this is supposed to be a 1,000-pound weight limit unit. I weigh 235, I'm 6'4". As far as sort of a framing reference of how I'm standing in it, I'll actually kind of walk into it just so you can see. I'm all the way at the back here. So even as a tall guy, plenty of room for me. I like having these things be adjustable because my wife is much smaller, so she has to move them differently. I move them up typically higher. And that's pretty much it. The construction's good. There was a lot of reviews that talked about how stuff didn't fit, the holes didn't line up or whatever. What I actually found was you have to assemble this. These posts, you can't just throw the posts on however you want. There's actually a method. You have to put them on certain ones on certain sides, certain ones in the front, and certain ones at the back. But overall, I'm extremely thrilled with this unit. The stability thing hasn't been a big deal because, again, I shouldn't be climbing on stuff at the top anyways. With the dips, it hasn't been any sort of real problem because what I'll do is if I feel it start to sway a little bit, I'll actually move these down for a slightly lower center of gravity, and that takes it away. I just lift my feet up underneath so they're not hitting the bottom. The hooks, the J hooks have been great. You know, for just whenever I got a lot of weight, putting my bar across there, no problem with it rolling off or anything. So for an inexpensive unit and a high ranked unit as far as the ratings go, this met my expectations. I wouldn't say that it exceeded them because, let's face it, it's just a big box of metal posts, but it does what it's supposed to do for me. Now, one thing to maybe mention here, something with the Hulkfit, is they do have other add-ons you can get. Like, for example, they've got some of these J-hook type things, but they're posts, so you can actually put like plate weights on it if you wanted to do that. I debated it because that would add, you know, if I was putting my plate weights, for example, here, and like just for storage, it would add a little bit of weight to the back and probably eliminate a little bit of that flipsy kind of instability. But ultimately it was like $70 or something for just 2 of those posts, which isn't gonna hold very many of these, so I just end up getting a regular rack. But they also, for the Hulkfit, have other extensions where you can do cables on different, I didn't go into any of that. I'm not interested in buying any of that, so obviously I can't review it. But if you're interested in something that you can add on to, the Hulkfit does have other options that you can actually expand this out a little bit into a slightly bigger gym. But again, all I wanted was something to be able to do pull-ups. I wanted something to do dips. I wanted something for, you know, doing some of this kind of stuff, some of the lower kind of stuff. Basically, I just wanted one unit that could give me all those things. The Hulkfit cage, rack cage, weight, squat cage, whatever you want to call it, did it. So I can absolutely recommend this. It's held up great and does what I wanted it to do for pretty cheap. So hopefully this was helpful for you. Again, I'll put a link in the description down below if you're interested. And if this was helpful, hit like on it. Maybe even the subscribe. I've got a bunch of other videos I put out every week with stuff like this and some other stuff too. So that's it. Thank you all so much for watching, and see you on the next video. Peace out.